There we go. Recording in progress.
All right. Continue. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here live with Lee Turner on Concrete Jungle. On the Concrete Jungle, man, chairman of the board himself, Concrete Jungle, with your broadcast announcer, me, Big Daddy J here, just giving you the lowdown on Mr. Concrete Jungle, the living legend himself. Welcome to the show, and how you doing, big man? It's popping.
I'm doing great, my brother. Glad to be back. Glad to be back training. Glad that everybody's excited about getting into martial arts again and reacquainting themselves with training. Since COVID let up, now we're in the third level, almost back to normal. So I'm happy that everything's going back to normal.
I get it, man. I feel you, man. A lot of people, man, needed that spiritual guidance. But here's the thing: the ball rolling. I want you to tell our fans out there who don't know who you are and how did you start Concrete Jungle, because I think it's turning into a dynasty. You're onto something big here, Lee. How did you perfect Concrete Jungle? I think before you even answer that question, who is Lee Turner?
Well, that's such a loaded question. I'm just a regular guy. Grew up in Hamilton, Ontario. My family came from Jamaica. Migrants. They migrated here from Jamaica. I was born in Hamilton. I grew up in Hamilton. Hamilton's kind of a tough city, so they're gonna try to bully you. They tried to bully me, and we had some like skinheads when I was growing up, and they get people that would try to give us a hard time, and we have to fight back. So you have to learn how to fight. You have to learn how to stand up for yourself. You have to learn to maybe team up to beat a tough opponent. Everybody can fight where I'm from. So Hamilton, they call it the hammer. So we always say, you may be tough as nails, but I'm from the hammer.
What made you love martial arts? Like, where did it all begin? Did it start off in school? Were you bullied off as a kid? Or did you just love martial arts? Like, where did it come from for you? Like, what was your first attraction to martial arts?
It's a little bit of everything. I think it started off with kung fu, ninjutsu. Actually,
okay.
Be on TV. They used to have ninjutsu on TV, and I used to, with my friend, we teamed up. We started climbing fences, started doing stealthy movements and stealthy kicks and things like that. And then my parents saw me doing that, and then they didn't want to put me in martial arts at the time. But then I got in a fight, beat a kid up, came home with blood on my pants, and Mom, Dad, I got in a fight. And then my mom, she was kind of mad at me, and my dad said, sometimes you have to learn to fight to learn not to fight. So he put me in martial arts, put me in Taekwondo, and I started in there. Then I learned to channel my aggression in a good, positive way. When people are out partying on the weekends.
Now, did you use, so your dad said, you know what, sometimes you have to fight, right?
You have to learn to fight.
So your dad put you in, so your dad put you in there. Now, I think he was thinking ahead for the future. So, you know what, my son could use this in life. So where did you go from there after you started your training?
Yeah, well, from there, I started to compete. I started in competition. So in Taekwondo, part of the requirement is that you compete. So as a yellow stripe, I started in competition. And I remember the kid, he threw a roundhouse kick at me, and I threw a jump spinning back kick, cut him in the ribs, and he dropped down to the ground. And then they all got mad at me. They said they made me turn around and kneel down on the ground and turn my back to the opponent and kneel down on the ground. He said, you're not supposed to, he said, that's not a shameful thing, but out of respect, when you injure someone, you turn your back and you kneel down and show consideration and show concern. So that's when I realized that I live with great strength, with great power comes great responsibility, and that was my first lessons in competition.
Okay, so that was one of your moments that you found out. Okay, with great power comes with great responsibility. What other competitions have you done after that? After your first competition, did you went out to finals, international championships? Did you go worldwide, or
In Taekwondo, from then
did
I
you win
went.
Olympic gold?
I competed. I got my black belt. I competed every belt. You know, I was a champion in every belt. I won the good tournaments, the Ontario tournaments, the
Okay.
provincial tournaments, and then I went to black belt and I fought for the team. What did I do? I was the Canadian champion. I was placed second in North America
Okay.
Taekwondo. Yeah, and then
Awesome.
right. So that was good. That's pretty good. Then I went on to karate, and I competed in karate after that. I trained in karate. I moved on from taekwondo to karate. I competed in karate, and I competed a lot. And I was the provincial champion. I was the national champion, and I was a world champion in karate.
Now, did you train day in and day out for these competitions? Did you have like that Kobe Bryant mindset? Were you like the Black Mamba when your friends saying, okay, Lee, let's play some basketball or let's go to the clubs? You're like, no, I got to win this championship. I got to do this. I got to keep my mind right so I can go into the ring and beat this dude for the championship. Were you like that? Or did you go out and say, okay, I'll go and get some girls, whatever, and do your thing? What was your mindset, Mr. Turner?
That's a good question.
What was the young Mr. Turner's mindset back then?
Yeah, as a youth, I was more the type to cram for the exam. So I'd go train, I'd do my training, but then when I knew something was coming up, a tournament that I was interested in, I would train hard for the tournament, get my cardio up and start training with my partners and come to class a lot and go to the sparring class and, then have my own trainer that trained me. And I'd go train with him more often. So I just step up my training in time for the tournament that I competed in. That was my mindset. So, but I love competing. I love competition. So I would go in, I'd compete I call it my untrained style. So if there's a tournament that I didn't know about, I would compete in it untrained just to see what happened. Because self-defense is designed to, you can't pick and choose when someone's going to attack you. So I just kind of put myself on the line to see even if I can't win, what would someone have to do to defeat me?
Mm-hmm. Now, did you watch older tapes of previous fights to keep your mind fresh, like a sharpened knife, or did you say, okay, this guy beat me, I lick my wounds and go back, or did you study the tape and say, okay, or did you study your opponent's tape?
I fought
to beat him and look for the weak spots.
I fought in tournaments. So in tournaments, we just show up. And I fought amateur. So in amateur, you pay your money, you show up. And then whoever shows up fights. And whoever wins out of everybody, there's going to be one person that never loses that night.
Okay.
That's me. Well, that was my goal, to be that guy that never lost the whole night.
So you never lost the whole thing. So you were that guy, that cocky son of a bitch.
No. I mean, I had good days, more bad days than good days, but I had good days.
Okay.
I was that guy. But many times I wasn't that guy. But that was my goal.
I get you.
Yeah. So I would do it untrained. I'd do it trained, whatever it was. I would just show up. I would show up and try to compete. And that's what got me I've done many different martial arts. So from karate, then I went into jiu-jitsu, then I went into kickboxing, then I went into mixed martial arts, and then then I got into, now I do Tai Chi, I do Capoeira Angola. But that's what got me, I just went to different martial arts and try to beat the game. Like my goal is I want to beat you at whatever you're good at. Not because I'm not cocky or ego, but just then that would mean I'm half decent at it too. And I'm trying to make a complete style so I can be able to defend myself in every round possible. Far away, close in, medium distance, grappling distance, on the ground. I want to have every aspect covered. So I would fight people that were experts in certain realms, certain fighting ranges, and to get good at that range. Like now I'm trying to do weapons. I'm not.
Oh, now you're trying to do weapons. Okay, so
that's a different range altogether. And so I haven't seen anybody at weapons yet.
Okay. So how did you start Concrete Jungle, man? I know I'm fast forwarding this, but like, how did you start Concrete Jungle? Where did Concrete Jungle come from?
I think I made it up one day when I was partying with my friends. I said, we were walking and we were walking down the
I'm
street.
sorry?
We were walking down the street. I wish I could tell you something really exciting, but we were walking down the street and I thought I had an epiphany one day when I was out with my friends, and we were walking down the street and I saw one foot on the grass, one foot on the concrete. I'm like, Concrete Jungle, Concrete Jungle. As I was walking, Concrete Jungle, I said, that's going to be the name of my empire. It's going to be Concrete Jungle. Just an epiphany. It was a moment, that aha moment, like a turning point.
A Turner turning point.
Yeah. And then
That's a hashtag, man.
That's what they did, and everything changed. I went with it, I rolled with it. And then next thing you know, then when I had the first opportunity to start my own, like to start my Concrete Jungle is my concept. It's my brand. It's my style of martial arts. It's like the overlaying style, that the umbrella that covers everything martial arts to me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything together, you know, because I do multidiscipline. So when you put it all together, you know, these are all things that you find in the jungle, the Concrete Jungle. You know, I've had all my teachers. I do like 8 different martial arts. I've met all my teachers and trained with them and learned from them and learned their original style and come up with my own style, because they don't want to be a facsimile of. I'm trying to create my own style that works for me. So when I train people, I show them the style. I show them what works for me. And they're going to take that, like Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful. So they're going to absorb what is useful. And then eventually they're going to have their own style that works for them. You know, when I first came up with my style, actually in my mind, my original style is Lee Jitsu. Lee Jitsu.
Lee Jitsu?
That's right.
But yeah. Why would you rename Jiu-Jitsu to Lee Jitsu? Isn't that copyright? Can't do that, man.
No. Jitsu is a term. It's a phrase. It's a Japanese phrase that means an art where you don't just philosophize, but you physically get into it. Like, yeah, if it's like a fighting art, then it's a jitsu. Jitsu means a fighting art, not just a theoretical art form. So when it's Lee Jitsu, it's like, that's me getting into it, getting down. I don't just talk theory. I show and prove in my style. It's in my martial arts style. It's a show and prove style. It's not just a conversation necessarily, but we can talk about it for sure. But you did challenge me. You said you have a belt, so.
Now I hear that you, back in the day, were training women's self-defense. Now, and also you started.
I still do that, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. Now I know pandemic hit. How did it affect your life?
Oh, my life got very interesting because I was working for a big company, and what happened was then I had to. We were unable to train at that facility, so I ended up training online.
How did lockdown affect you?
Well, I ended up staying indoors and training people online. So I started training people online because people didn't want to get out of shape that know me. So they started calling me, asking me if they could train with me and train with me online. And I couldn't turn that down. I started training people online. And I found out that online is better. Not better, but in certain kind of ways, because you can look at someone and see their technique, and you can see when you can really pinpoint the technique. You can say start, stop, freeze, bend your knee, put your foot at this angle, turn your back, put your back this way, bend this way. You can really put someone in the proper position, and they can stop them and show them the move, demonstrate the move, and they really understand it. So everyone that I was training, they technically improve a lot. Like, it's unbelievable how much they technically improve. Listen, let's take a pause right now. Can we pause this for a second?
All right. And we'll be right back after these messages with more Lee Turner.
Woo! Woof, 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 woof.